Can you hear me? I can't hear you yet. Okay, so today, right, we're just going to be discussing how we can accessing grants as social entrepreneurs, right, for the various ideas or solutions or products or projects everyone are working on, how you can successfully apply for grants and increase your chances, right, of getting them. So this event is an hybrid event. There's a team physically in Ife at the May Haven Innovation Hub that are also attending, and I welcome you all also to the session today. Elvis, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, so while we're waiting for Elvis, and I'm assuming the team at May Haven to hear us, can we just do something quickly in the DMs? Maybe introduce yourself. What do you do? We can see all your names, right? I can see Praise, Hamad, Ayobami, Babatunde, Blessing, Deborah, Gomina, that's David, Israel, and a couple of other people, right? What are you looking to learn today? What are you looking to gain for the session today? So that could also help us to drive the conversation, right? This is just a conversation that we're looking to have. So Elvis talks about his experience, right, with grants. Then I, as a presenter for today's session, also help you to steer the conversations towards everything that you've pinpointed that you're looking to learn. I can see Blessing's message. Thank you, Blessing, that says she's looking to get how to get money for our startup ideas. That's wonderful. Right, so we're going to be covering that today. I'm also looking for money to pursue a couple of my what's it called? I currently work in a non-profit called TechWest. So yes, I do some bits of saying grants, writing, and
You know the on mute.
Hi, bless Elvis. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So apologies for this technical issue.
No, I'm having difficulty hearing you.
That's probably a speaker. Okay, let me just send you a chat. So please just give us a couple of more moments, right, while we try to solve the issue, right? Elvis is our speaker for today, founder of May Haven Hub, right?
So now that I can hear them, they can't hear me.
You can hear you. I think you can hear you.
Oh no, you can hear me.
We can hear you, Elvis.
Oh, okay.
But you
all right, that's good. All right. Yes.
Or can you?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. So, I can hear you.
Awesome. So can we start? So could you please turn your video?
Okay then. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. How are you doing today?
So hi everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm very fine. How are you doing? All right, that's good.
So accessing grants for social entrepreneurs, right? What do we need to know? I'm hoping this is not going to be a conversation, right? Based on experience. I saw at some point that there was like a preview of slides. Is there going to be a slide today? Like a preview. I saw a brief preview, a slide preview.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, while we're talking about how to access grants for social entrepreneurs and all of that, the focus would actually be on the application drive for the Tony Elumelu Foundation and $5,000 seed capital funding for entrepreneurs. So the slides actually will just briefly take us through what the application cycle used to look like and what it looks like now, and also run us through what the questions are like. Yeah, there might be a bit of difference here and there, but the questions are pretty much the same. So, but what you might have in, say, number 91 in the slide I'm about to share might be on, say, number 100 by the time you want to start your application. Do you get? So basically, we'll just have a run through. We'll have a general conversation around accessing grant as a social entrepreneur, and then we'll then try and focus a bit on the Tony Elumelu Foundation application for this year.
Thank you so much, Elvis. So while we're just trying to do that, I've turned up the Q&A mode now. So please, if you have specific questions beyond regular chat, right, please just leave that in the Q&A section. So it's easier for us to track that apart from the regular, the general chat box. Okay, so if at any point during the presentation or while the session is going on today, please just drop a question in the chat. I'll be tracking that different from the general box so that we can just ask all your questions and ensure that everybody gets value from today's conversation. Yes, we can start, Elvis. So while we're waiting for Elvis to join, I've seen that only a few people are still yet to introduce themselves. Ahmad, I've seen that yes, you're from the Partial Hub. I've seen Blessing, that is the product manager, is looking to learn how to get some funding.
We have a number of people here at the hub too right now, actually. They're all trying to join in for the event. Yeah.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Yeah, we're looking forward to having you all. So Elvis, I think we could start, right? Just to give an overview of the Tony Elumelu Foundation Scholarship, Foundation Grant, pardon me. And then while we are waiting for specific things people would like to get clarification from. Over to you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, Olumide, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, once again. Those joining virtually and those that are here with me at the hub. So this is a quick application drive for the Tony Elumelu Foundation. And now the Tony Elumelu Foundation started its grant opportunity, its grant funding in 2015. And Mr. Tony's vision is to fund 100,000 entrepreneurs across the 54 African countries in over 10 years. And so far, so good. The foundation has been able to fund well over 20,000 entrepreneurs since it launched in 2015. Now, the good thing about the Tony Elumelu Foundation is that they are not industry specific. Regardless of what business you're in, as long as your business is profit oriented, you can apply to the Tony Elumelu Foundation for the seed capital to win a $5,000 seed funding for your business idea. Now, there are certain criteria and certain conditions that you definitely have to fulfill before you would be eligible to receive the funding. One of them is the fact that you have to be at least 18 years and above. The minimum age is 18 years. There is no maximum age. That's a good thing. If you're 100 years old and you have a viable business idea, you can apply to the Tony Elumelu Foundation. And also, your business has to be between 0 to 3 years, which is that either your business is in the idea stage, or if it's an existing business, it has to be nothing older than 3 years. So your business has to be between 0 to 3 years of existence for you to be eligible for the Tony Elumelu Foundation grant. Also, your business has to be situated in one of the 54 African countries. If your business is overseas, that is out of the continent, you would not be eligible for the Tony Elumelu Foundation grant. So what I'll do now is that I'll share, let me share my screen so I can run us through what the application used to look like and what it looks like now. Yeah. All right. So I'll just quickly run us through how the application used to look like. So before now, the application cycle still remains the same. Applications would open between January 1 to March 1. That's when the application closes. Then there's a selection announcement of the selected entrepreneurs by the 22nd of March. By this, the foundation goes through what they call the world check, just to try and validate all the information you provided within that period. And then there's an onboarding session for all the selected entrepreneurs by the third week in April. Then you undergo a 12 weeks online and virtual mentorship training that lasts for 12 weeks between May to August. And then there is the Tony Elumelu Forum in either Lagos or Abuja, whichever the foundation finds comfortable for them. Then after the you submit a proper business plan after going through the 12 weeks mentorship program. You submit your business plan. Your business plan is reviewed, and if accepted, you then get funded with $5,000. But now the application cycle has changed. Now there is no. Now the way it is that you apply. Then after applying, there are three different categories that applicants will fall under. Either you fall under the startup, or you fall under the innovator group, or you fall under the disruptor group. Now, what these three different categories do is that it's like a filtering system just to filter entrepreneurs based on their in-depth knowledge and understanding of their business and the industry they would be operating in. So that's why they have these three different categories. Also, what these three different categories mean is that only entrepreneurs that fall in the innovator and disruptor category would be eligible to go through the training, the 12 weeks training, and then submit a business plan, or you'd go on for a particular pitch. I think it's going to be virtual this year too, due to the coronavirus pandemic. They would have a virtual pitch, depending on your location, different days, where you're going to pitch your idea to a particular panel of judges who will then finally ratify your idea. And then after the pitching, then the selection announcement would be made at the forum. So it is at the forum where every selected entrepreneurs, the final selected entrepreneurs, would now be shortlisted, and then they would then go on to go through the entire screening process of validating some of the information you must have provided, submit your bank details, your business registration document, and some other will require you to submit. And once you submit that, you then get funded with the $5,000 seed capital. So that's a run through of what the program would look like before. So I just want to share this particular graphical representation of how the application cycle would look like here. So now for you to apply, you have to sign up on the TEF Connect. This is where you would then fill in relevant information, and then after filling in the relevant information, you take a psychometric and entrepreneur assessment test. After taking the assessment test, immediately you're done with the assessment test. The system will then grade you and then put you under one of the three categories based on how you've performed. Based on the information you've provided.
Yes,
I
sorry
can hear
to
you.
interject. Could you please do the what's it called, the slideshow view, so that it can be a bit bigger, especially because of people joining on mobile. For the PowerPoint presentation.
Okay. Is it better now?
No, the slideshow, beside the Zoom Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Beside the Zoom button, sorry to distract, yeah. Um, or you could just use the
Yeah.
slideshow menu.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying. What exactly is the issue?
Oh, okay. Mobile users can zoom their. Okay, as long as it's fine. I was just concerned that people joining on mobile might not be able to. So if that solves the problem, Emmanuel, then it's fine. Could you please just continue your presentation?
Okay. All right. So, like I said, you would log into TEF Connect, fill in your relevant information, take the psychometric business and entrepreneurial test, and then after you take the test should take between say 10 to 15 minutes. Although the system actually times you, you have I think 30 minutes. 30 minutes here. It's a timed test. You have 30 minutes to fill the relevant information and answer and take the assessment test. Once you take the assessment test, the system itself would grade you and then put you into one of the three categories. So now, in this particular slide, you see where, based on score segments, entrepreneurs will be graded into two levels: level one and level two. The level one will just be, here it says basic and intermediary training modules, and level two it says advanced training modules. So what the foundation has decided to do this year is that regardless of if you go on to get the seed capital or not, they want you to go through the business training, the mentorship program. Before, the mentorship program used to be only accessible to successful applicants. That is, by the virtue of receiving the mentorship program, you're eligible for the seed funding. But now the foundation is saying that either you're eligible or not, that is, either you fall under the startup group or the innovator and disruptor group, you still have access and the opportunity to go through the online mentoring program. So what this means is that, say when you fill in your application and then you fall under the startup group, you still have access to the 8 weeks mentorship program. But the grading for the mentorship program wouldn't really matter for you. That would only matter to people that fall into the disruptor or innovator category. I'll get to that as we go on. So basically, once you've made it into the innovator or disruptor group, you go through the 8 weeks training. Now, during this 8 weeks training, there will be weekly tasks, weekly assignments, weekly assessments that you would have to and report on. So once you report, all of those reports will be graded, and this would make the total points for the final uh, assessment of your eligibility for the seed capital, basically. But those that fall under the startup have nothing to worry about, because one way or the other, once you fall under the startup category, what that means is that the only thing you're eligible for is the online mentorship program, and you won't really have access to pitch your idea and be eligible for the seed capital. So I think after this presentation, after this program, I would share this slide with each and every one of us, so we can also go through later on and understand better what the whole program would look like. So so this is how the program looks like. Training is to be delivered by entrepreneurs. I think I've gone through all of this already. So now this is what the shortlist would be based on. Now, shortlist will be based on the training performance score That is, while you go through that 12 weeks training, you need to be very, very active. You need to like take it really serious because it's going to be an important part of the entire grading to measure your eligibility for the funding. Now, the test questions, like I said, the online assessment test that we talked about, and all of that would carry the weight would be 40 marks. The interaction of Dev Connect, that is during your the 8 to 12 weeks entrepreneurship program, your performance, your interactions with other entrepreneurs, how you participate in surveys, how you participate in webinars organized by the foundation and the likes, would all go in hand to measure how high and how well you're going to do well in the scoring. That particular part takes 50 of the entire 100 mark. And then the mentorship engagement. So during the mentorship program, every entrepreneur or subset of entrepreneur would be paired with a mentor. So the mentor, you would have to engage your mentors. You would have to interact and relate with your mentors to so your engagement with your mentors would also carry 10 marks. That is, you need to be very, very active. You need to reach out to your mentors from time to time. You need to ensure that you engage your mentors on different cerebral conversations just to show that you're worth the 5,000 US dollars. Well, the good thing about all of this is that all of this can be done from the comfort of your room. It is all virtual. You don't need to spend anything going anywhere. It's going to be virtual. The only thing is going to cost you it's just a bit of data, and you'll be fine. So after all of this things has happened and you've been graded via a particular score, the top performing entrepreneurs will be shortlisted to physically pitch their idea to a panel of judges. So virtually too, some panel of judges. I know they said physically here, but this was before the COVID-19 pandemic. Now everything is going to be virtual, like super virtual. So you just you have I think a 5-minute virtual pitch where you are just going to quickly run it through for a particular panel of judges, and then these judges would also then say, okay, these people are very well viable and eligible for this funding. Now, the pitching would happen in all the 54 African countries. Like I said, the Tony Elumelu Foundation is not just for Nigerian entrepreneurs. You would be competing with other entrepreneurs from other countries. And usually, applications that the foundation gets ranges from, I think, about 300,000 to 400,000 from different entrepreneurs across Africa. Now, the pitching can be done in any of these languages: English, French, Portuguese, or Arabic. If you don't understand English and you understand French, you can do your application and send in your pitch in any of these languages. Now, the selection will be based on the aggregated scores from application to training and to the pitching phase. So all of the processes involved here all have their own relative importance. The application, the test scores from the application, that's the psychometric assessment test that we'll still go through later on in this training. The 8 weeks mentorship program itself, and then the pitching itself, where you would have to then pitch your business ideas to a panel of judges. All of these 3 different stages of the application are very, very important. And then top performers will be selected for the seed capital. Now, this is like what you just have to do to be eligible for the funding, and I think that's pretty much everything. So before we move on to looking at the application questions themselves, I would like to quickly take some questions if there are any, please.
All right, thank you so much, Elvis, for that educative session. So if you have questions, now is the time. I've looked through the chat. We currently don't have any questions. I think one thing I'm interested in, right, is even your own Tony Elumelu Foundation scholarship experience, right? How was it for you,
Okay.
and how did it go? And are there any specific things that the attendees could just pick out from you telling your story? While we are with questions.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay. All right. So I was selected as part of the entrepreneurs in 2019, but that was not my first time relating with the Tony Elumelu Foundation. It was 2017. I helped a team of entrepreneurs here in Ife then apply for the funds. And I think I helped about 5 people, and 3 of them actually got into the foundation. But after I left Ife in 2018, I really didn't take the whole thing serious until the application came again in 2019, and I applied. The funny thing about the application cycle then was that it was really lengthy. You had to submit essays that were totaling up to, I think, about 5,000 words, explaining who you are, your leadership experience, why you're in the best place to run that particular number of questions that they were asking, and this particular thing scared a lot of people away. It even showed in their application circle. In 2019, Accenture, one of the partners for the foundation, said in 2019 they had about 700,000 people sign up onto the TEF Connect, that is, showed interest to apply and started at the application, but only 400,000 actually submitted the application. That is, a lot of people just lose interest along the line because the application process, the essays you had to send in were a lot, they were quite lengthy, and you had to be able to communicate what you wanted to say in, or whatever your ideas were, in a limited amount of words. So that made the whole application cycle a bit stressful and a bit cumbersome for a number of people. So, but now the application cycle, it's a lot more easier. You take a test in less than 30 minutes, the system grades you and puts you into a particular category, then you go through a virtual 8 weeks program where you then submit some applications and all of that. You submit some exercise, and it's a lot more easier than what it used to be. But one good thing the foundation did for me was that there's this thing about, once you know that this thing you're thinking is actually valid, if a foundation as big as the Tony Elumelu Foundation finds your business idea, worthwhile enough to say they want to fund your idea with $5,000, not in equity, not in loan, just $5,000 for you to go and do whatever you like. I feel like there's a way that actually boosts your confidence. There's a way it makes you feel like maybe you're what the hype, maybe this particular venture you're about to go on to, this particular journey you're about to start is actually worth it. So basically, the foundation helps you say, you know what, we think you have something going on for you, and we want to take a chance on you, basically. So it's a morale booster for me. It boosts your confidence. It makes you feel like you're doing the right thing. And then during the forum in Abuja, we had the forum in Abuja 2019. It was a wonderful experience for me. We were hosted for 3 days in Abuja at the event. The forum itself happened at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, and I had the opportunity to meet over 2,000 entrepreneurs from Africa. Now I have friends in Kenya, Rwanda, South Africa, Ghana. Do you get? So that brotherhood, that fellowship, that access to a network of other entrepreneurs from other countries is one of the things you get as a Tony Elumelu entrepreneur. And also, being a Tony Elumelu entrepreneur means that you get access to a number of things from the foundation. If you have certain projects you want to work on, you can reach out to the foundation. They give you their letterhead, they give you their support. They provide a number of supports to their entrepreneurs, and that in itself is it's a life-changing opportunity for me. You meet a lot of people, and it puts you on another level. Generally, that's the Tony Elumelu experience for me.
I was on mute. Thank you so much, Elvis. Right. Could you please also spend some time, right, to differentiate between the innovator category? You mentioned that the application has changed a bit. To differentiate between the innovator category versus startups, and the third one, so that it's just
Disruptor.
yeah, so that the applicants, right, from the community, from both our communities, could just easily know that this is what I'm currently building. I'm doing a social enterprise, or I'm building a company, or I'm trying to raise grants for maybe a project or something I'm trying to do, right? So that we just have some way to think about categorizing what we are doing appropriately while preparing for the application.
All right. So the categories will be based on a system, an AI system. So you really can say this is how you are going to, or this is what you have to do to fall into these categories. Now, what these categories, the way you would get selected or categorized in any of this category is by the answers you provide in the assessment test when you're applying. So based on the answers you provide, there are certain questions there to test your business knowledge, to test your understanding of the industry you're operating in. Do you understand? We'll go through some of the questions during the course of this program. We'll quickly have a run through. So by the answers you provide, an AI system would grade the answers you provide and then put you into one of these three categories. Either you fall under the startup, or the innovator, or the disruptor group. Now the difference is that both the innovator, if you fall under the innovator or disruptor group, what that does for you is that it gets you one step closer to the funding opportunity. But once you fall under the startup group, you then have to try again next year. In all sincerity, the best thing you can get now is the 8 weeks mentorship program. But if you fall under the innovator or disruptor category, what that means now is that you're eligible to go into the 8 weeks training program, and after the 8 weeks training program, you would also go into the pitching phase of the competition, where you will have to pitch your ideas to a panel of judges. Now there's a grade for being under the innovator and disruptor that has its own grade. Now the 8 weeks training program too has its own grade. At the end of the 8 weeks training program, you would also be graded. Then after that, and like I said earlier on, you'd be paired with a mentor. Someone would mentor you through that 8 weeks program. Because the idea of that 8 weeks program is that you'll be paired with someone that has been doing a business related to yours. So if you're an agribusiness owner, you'll be paired with a mentor in the agribusiness industry that can help you, finesse and fine tune whatever idea that you have at the current stage. And then after the mentorship program, you then pitch your ideas to a panel of judges. Now the pitching competition too has its own grade. So now the cumulative of all of this grade is what would go into the final selection of the entrepreneurs that will be funded. Now I'm not sure of the exact numbers that will be funded this year, but one thing I know for sure is that, considering the new partnership that the foundation has been able to secure, now they have partnership with the United Nations Development Program. They have a partnership with ECOWAS. They have a partnership with African Development Bank. So that means that more entrepreneurs will be funded. But the foundation on its own as a body funds 1,000 entrepreneurs. They don't do more than that. They fund 1,000 entrepreneurs. But their partners such as UNDP, the African Development Bank, the African Union, P&G, and a number of other government and private agencies also fund certain entrepreneurs under the Tony Elumelu platform. Do you understand? So 1,000 entrepreneurs are sure to be funded by the foundation. Now, depending on the extent of the partnership which the foundation has, they then decide to select many more partners. Say, for example, African Development Bank decides to sponsor 1,000 entrepreneurs. That means with the 1,000 that the Tony Elumelu Foundation will fund, there's opportunity to fund 1,000 more. Do you understand? Then the UNDP too can say, okay, we want to also fund 500 entrepreneurs. That's another 500 extra, making 2,500. The African Union might say, okay, they have capacity to fund just 100, making 100. That's 2,600. Certain state governments might say, you know what, we want to fund entrepreneurs from just Anambra State. That happened in 2019. The Anambra State government sponsored 50 entrepreneurs from Anambra. They all had to be Anambra. Their businesses had to be domiciled in Anambra State, and they were funded under the Tony Elumelu Foundation. So depending on the extent of the partnership that the foundation secures, which we would not know until the final selection is being made. But one thing you're sure of is that the Tony Elumelu Foundation in itself, with or without partnership, will fund 1,000 entrepreneurs across Africa. But many more entrepreneurs will also be funded based on the number of partnerships the foundation is able to secure.
Elvis, one other question before we go into the intricacies you promised. What is the typical application timeline that you would advise for a successful application? Right, you mentioned that you've successfully helped a couple of people to do the application successfully, and also for you, right? What would you advise to say, oh, for me to put my all the things I probably need to write together? What would be the timeline you would advise for people to consider?
Okay, all right. Because of the way the new application circle is like, if you're not ready, do not apply. Because once you have that 30 minutes, once you log in, you can't log out and come back and say, oh, I want to get back to this thing later. That is why an application drive is actually very important. So you go through what the questions look like. Now, after we go through what the questions look like now, you need to be sure that you have the answers in your head. You have the answers to all of these questions. The good thing now in this application is that you don't have to write too much essays. I think the highest place where you have to write something here is, I think, 100 characters. No words, 100 characters. Every other one is just, I agree, strongly disagree, yes or no, or filling multiple choice questions. So, but you just need, it's 30 minutes. But once we go through what the question looks like now, I think everybody will then be able to see what they need to know to put in an application. Do you understand? But if you're a business, if you're at the idea stage especially, be sure that you understand, one, the industry your business will be operating in. If your business will be solving any of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, if your business is solving any one of them, know which one of them it is solving. If your industry has a sub-industry category, understand these things, understand what cash flow means, know how to calculate your break-even point, and some smaller accounting calculations here and there, just a plus and minus kind of thing. But I will take us through all of that in the questions for the application, which we're going to get into next.
Thank you so much, Elvis. Please, in case you have questions, please use the chat section to just drop the questions. And as soon as we get that, I would ask.
Olumide, I can't really hear you.
Can you hear me now? You hear me? Is my internet back in?
Olumide, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't think so. If you can hear me, can you please just put a thumbs up or something in the chat so I can know? Can anyone hear me?
What was wrong with Olumide's internet? Let's refresh.
Yeah, apologies for that. So yeah, we'll try to get Elvis. Thank you, Praise. Thank you, Kolade. Gobin and Blessing. Right. So we're just trying to have, we're in Nigeria, right? We have surprises. Even I often have to have multiple internet providers at once because you never can know. It's when you're having that multi-million naira conversation that one provider wants to mess you up. Hi,
Oh,
Elvis. Can you hear me
Olumide,
now?
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I'm having difficulty hearing you.
Can you see me? Okay, so we might need to give Elvis a couple of more minutes or seconds.
I
Can
really
you
can't
hear
hear
me?
you, Olumide.
Um,
Okay, that's it.
we can hear you.
Ah,
We can hear you.
can you hear me?
Yes. Can you see me?
Can't. I'm having difficulty hearing you. I can only see you.
I can hear you.
This is why I don't like online things. I can't hear anything. I really can't hear. I'm
I
wondering what
can
the
hear
issue is.
you.
Yes. I think we can do to the projector. Since we're projecting already. Do you get?
Okay. Just give us a couple of more seconds while we fix that technical issue. Um, Toby, you cannot hear me. Can anyone hear me? Or is the internet issue from my end? If you can hear me, please just give an emoji or a thumbs up or something. Okay. Thanks, David. Awesome. Awesome. So we're just waiting for Elvis. Elvis, can you hear me
Yeah.
now? Can you hear me? No. Yes, I can hear you.
Olumide, can you hear me?
Yes. So it's likely to be a sound output, a speaker issue. Yeah. Please just bear with us, all right?
Alright, can you hear us here now? Is it better now?
We can hear you. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So I think we could just jump right into the application drive, reviewing what the kinds of questions to expect. Right. I think that's where the bulk of the questions from the online audience would be from. Did you get that?
No, I didn't hear that. What did you say? Please come again.
Okay, I was saying, could we please just jump into the application drive, right? Reviewing the kinds of questions to expect.
Questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me share my screen.
Thank you.
Yeah. once you sign up into TEF Connect, once you log into TEF Connect and you create a profile, you will be required to just fill in some certain things. That's like your biodata. So this is what the application process would look like. So getting to know you, are you registered on TEF Connect? You answer, these are yes or no questions. If yes, enter your TEF Connect ID, you fill in your name, gender, date of birth, country, where you live, your phone number, email, just basic things, nothing much here. Secondary contact, your social media presence, level of education, how many years of work experience do you have, your primary skill set. You just choose your top 5 skill set that best describes you. You want to make sure that you choose what really relates to you in this part. So yeah, you would also keep answering if you've ever applied for other grants from other organization. If yes, you name the organization. You would upload an ID, either an international passport, any one of the IDs here, but a student ID card would not be acceptable. You have to use a government issued ID. You upload a picture of yourself, tell them how you heard about the TEF Connect program, how many years of business startup experience do you have. In this particular part, it could be either you starting a startup yourself or working in one. You don't necessarily have to be the owner of this particular business before you answer this part. It could be that you've worked there and you have an experience building a startup. Do you have a business name for your idea already? Please choose yes in this part. You want to show that you are serious and you've taken a step further in validating your idea. What's your business name? Is it registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission in your country? Where is the business located? Now, in this part, one thing I know about the foundation is that they like to also look at how an entrepreneur understands the environment where their business will be located. So, say for example, you live in Lagos full time and you're trying to start a business in Ife. Doesn't really make sense. So you want to make sure that where you're filling in as where you live and where your business will be located or where your business is located, you want to try and make sure that they are the same. Now, in which of these industries your business, like I said the other time, you need to tell them which of these industries fits in to where your business exists or will exist. Now, in not more than 100 words, what would be the impact of your business idea to your immediate community or country? Now, I know they said country here, but in all sincerity, you can't effect the change in your country with 5,000 US dollars. So you want to talk about local problem you'll be solving. You want to talk about local content and how exactly your business will be impactful to your immediate community. You really can't solve Nigeria's problem with 5,000 US dollars, but trust me, you can find a way to describe how your business will solve the problem for the community where your business would be located and situated. And like I said, this part is how your business is solving any of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. You need to choose your top 3. Please be sure to know how your business solves any of these sustainable development goals. It doesn't have to be necessary directly, but if in one way or the other it solves something, let it solve something in this particular solve one of these particular goals that the United Nations has. Now, is your idea or business in your field of experience? Now, yeah, they are trying to understand if you have actual experience either working or running the kind of business you want to do. What this means is that, say for example,
I apologize for the break. It seems we've lost Elvis again. So as I mentioned earlier, right, once you create an account, right, this file is available for you to download, so you can read through it before you even try to start the application process. So yeah, apologies for the network issues. Nigeria, yeah. So it's just let's hold on for a couple of more seconds while we gradually prepare to wind down the session. So if you have any question, now is the time to begin to just prepare specific questions that we could ask Elvis. We mentioned that I successfully sent to 4 successful applications. So yeah, it's a great resource person to help you answer specific questions you might encounter. I've also seen someone mention that I think it was a he now, right, had issues because of the lengthy application and didn't bother submitting, right? And because this year's application is a bit different, I think now is a great time to take advantage of that, right? So we could just look through all the resources on the platform. Elvis has also promised to share the slides that he walked us through earlier, and also I will beseech him to share this PDF also, so that we could all just review through all the content, all the resources, and then be in a better position, right, to make a successful application than we were before the webinar today. So we just hold on for a couple of more seconds for Elvis to rejoin. Yeah, network issues, Emmanuel. So you can walk us through the rest of the application drive questions.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
While you were walking up through, okay, there's some stuff.
How bad is it?
Not very bad. It's manageable, but just feeling bad.
It's close to the door. I think it should be noise from gents and all of that. Is it better?
I didn't even feedback hearing my voice.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's all right. Sorry about that.
Anyway, so I'll just mute my mic so I don't get any feedback. So if you just walk up on the application, I'll mute my mic now. So yeah, then we could go from there. Please.
All right. So, like I said, how many hours are you currently working on your idea per week? You want to choose above 12 hours here. Are you working with a team? Yes or no? If you're working with a team, please fill yes. If not, no. If yes is the last question, how many other than you are on the team? Some of this are just yes or no questions and all of that. Are you currently making revenue from your business idea? I mean, it's an idea. You definitely aren't making money from it if it's still an idea. The fact that you're making money from it removes it from the idea stage, either pre-revenue or, you know, any other stage that might be. So if yes or no, how much revenue are you currently making? If you're making money currently, please fill in any of these options as the amount you're currently making. Now give a little description of your startup idea or ideas. If you do not have a final startup idea, then describe an industry or customer problem that you might want to build a business around. Minimum here is 50 words, maximum 500 words. So in this place, this is where you describe what the problem your business idea will be solving, how you're going to solve them, and how you're going to make money. Basically, you say, for example, now remember that they asked you questions in the previous sites in the United Goals problem you're solving, or briefly describing what your business idea is all about. Now you want to make sure that all of these things are in line with one another. So for example, in the goals that you're solving for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, one of them, say you chose clean water, and your idea is fintech. There's no correlation between the two. There's no way you would solve the problem of access to clean water by providing payment solution for business owners. So you want to make sure that all of these things are streamlined. So don't get carried away. You've passed the previous section, now you're in the new section, and you might have even forgotten that you answered that particular, you gave that particular answer. So you want to make sure that all these things are well synchronized, and your answers, feed off each other. Do you understand? So I just give them a brief description of what your startup idea is about. Do you have a mentor? Yes or no? Now, this part is one of the ways the foundation used to source for mentors. So, for example, if you choose here that you have a mentor and they've asked you to provide that mentor's phone number and all of that. So, say for example, you successfully fall into, say, the disruptor or the innovator category, it becomes a lot more easier for the foundation to then just continue to pair you with your existing mentor, with someone you have experience with. So if you have a mentor, say yes. But mentor here should be business mentor, not spiritual mentor, or let it be business, let it be your something related to your idea and how this person can help you get further in this particular phase. Now, this is a psychometric analysis. They want to see how you think and handle situations. So I share credit with the others, even if I did most of the work. Just choose whatever option. If you don't share, just choose whatever option here fits into this particular situation. It is okay not to achieve everything one aims for. If you feel that's okay, please feel free to let the foundation know. I collect my thoughts before expressing myself. I prefer routine over variety. When wronged by others, I tend to forgive easily. I tend to be cautious about happy outcomes. I usually see things for what they truly are. In meetings, I prefer to lead the discussion. It is better to be happy with what you have than try to achieve too much. I can easily guess what others are thinking. Most people focus first on personal gain. I'm open to work with. All these are just personality-based tests, just to know how you think and how you would handle certain situations. That goes on and on till number 78. So like I said, it's mostly yes or no, almost all true. Apart from some parts where you have to write some basic dates. Now, the other section now is they want to test your understanding of business. Any good business idea must make money. Do you agree? If yes, you just choose any of these things that you personally agree with. Now, to start a business, everyone needs 4 things in the following order. If you think you need money first, and then business partner, an idea, and a plan, well, it is what it is. But for me, I would most likely go with my idea, plan, money, and then sourcing for partners. That's my own order. There's no wrong or right questions in this application. Actually, there's no this is the answer. There's no wrong or right question, and that is why it is an AI-based system that just filters and collects your answers that you've provided, and then place you into one of the 3 categories. Now, at the current stage of your business idea, if you get the $5,000 grant today, what will you do with it? Register my business, buy inputs I need for my business, and save for money for weekly operation. Save the money, invest the grant in the bank, and use the interest to start my business. Buy more stock for my business, build a website for online presence, buy accounting software, employ 1 or 2 hands, and have some for operations. I will travel to Europe or America to learn more about my business idea. Now, whatever it is you feel you want to use the money for, please feel free to let the foundation know what you want to do. But be very, very realistic. Be sure that $5,000 will cover all of these things you said you want to do. No. You choose what you would do. So one thing. So the best answer. So there's no wrong question. There's no wrong answer actually. Just the best answer. How is profit calculated? I mean, if you are a business owner, you want to go into business, you definitely would know how profit is calculated. Is it sales in 1 year over sales in a month, or total sales versus minus total expenses, monthly sales times expenses, sales minus expenses? Whichever you feel is the best way. If it's monthly sales times expenses, who knows? Now, any good business idea must make money in the first year. Do you agree? Yes or no? If you don't agree, there are a number of options you have to choose here. Now, like I said, there are some bits of maths here and there that you have to answer. The cost of 50 mangoes is equal to the selling price of 40 mangoes. What is the percentage profit? Now, whoever has a basic understanding of running a business, if you buy 50 mangoes, if the cost of buying 50 mangoes, and then by the time you sell 40 of those 50 mangoes, you've already made money for buying the entire 50 mangoes. How much profit have you made that way? I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, so you just, are we supposed to do the maths for? I'm sure we can. I'm sure a lot of us. That's cost price minus selling price over cost price, yeah, and then take it to percentage. I think the answer here is 20%. I think so, but if it's not, then you find out yourself. Alright, moving on. What type of economy allows the government to determine what and how and whom products and services are produced? That is a command economy. Start a business, the first thing you need is it a vision? Is it an idea? Is it money? Is it business name? Is it none of the above? I mean, it could be business name, it could be money, it could be idea, and it could be vision. What is your greatest reason for becoming an entrepreneur? To be financially free, make the world a better place, build a legacy, fulfill my passion. Whichever any of these questions, whichever best describes what you're trying to do, please answer comfortably. How do you balance your business, family, and social life? There's no wrong or right question here. Whichever best describe family first all the time. What am I working for anyway? I don't have a balance, especially in the first few months. I always achieve a good balance each day. Work first all the time. It provides for the family. However it is you feel about your business, family, and social life. Now, in December 12th, 2007, this is another math-based question. Mohammed bought 300 units of Afro Cocoa Corporation shares at $55 per share. On December 10th, 2008, Mohammed sold all the shares for $60 per share. What is Mohammed's percentage realized gain? So here, the amount you sold the share minus the amount the shares cost, isn't it? Over the amount is it about the amount you sold the shares or the amount? I don't know. Let's take it to percentage. So these are some of the questions that would basically let any system know if you have any experience or any understanding how businesses work. Alright, section 4, continuation of so many of these business and commercial questions.
Thank you.
Let's pull me their mic. The questions given below provides a situation and asks you to make a judgment on the basis of the information given. Company X has a team of A, B, C, D, E, and F, among other staff members. A team of 4 members need to be selected for a client meeting from the listed names. Now, A is the marketing head of the organization who plans and charts out the marketing strategies of the company. B is the sales executive who has been in constant contact with the client regarding the requirement. C is the CFO of the organization. D is the sales manager and a direct supervisor of B, who was also present in the previous conversation with the client. E is the content lead who has to design the product as per the client needs. F is one of the content team members of E. The meeting is with the CEO of the prospective client. Select the team which should go to the meeting. Now, any team that has C in it should not go automatically. What is the CFO doing? in a sales meeting. So I think that then leaves you with selection 3, team A, B, D, and E. In my own opinion, actually, if you don't feel that way, you can choose any other answer there. The question given below provides a situation and asks you to make a judgment using the information given. You are the co-founder of company Y and need to hire an intern with some prior work or internship experience and graduated within the last 1 year with a score of at least 75%. The preferred candidate should have good communication skill, be willing to travel at short notice, and be open to work with different shifts. So different persons with different criteria which they have. There's Ivan, graduated with an overall average of 75% with a bachelor's in computer science. Susan has good communication skills, interned for 90 days at the university library, and was the second best graduating student from the Faculty of Business Science. There's Dale, graduated with a score of 79.3%, willing to work different shifts and ready to travel at any time. And there's Billy, interned at the University Research Center for 3 months, graduated with a score of 79%. Is ready to work at any time of the day and willing to travel at the shortest notice. Now, you're to choose which of these candidates you would prefer to work with based on the current needs of the business. Now, like I said, there is no right or wrong question. Whatever it is you decide to choose here, we'll still have to do the work. But this is just to show or to evaluate your decision-making skills and how you would base your recruitment process. Will it be based on grades? Will it be based on ability to do the job? Will it be based on a number of other criteria such as availability to travel? So there's no wrong or right answers here. Just choose whatever you feel would you would do if you were in that situation. Now this other question. Last year Matthew bought 2 cars. This year he sold both the cars for $45,000 each. On one he earned 20% profit, and on the other he made a 20% loss. What was his net profit or loss? Now Matthew, I don't know Matthew, but wherever he is, sorry please. Okay, yeah. So Matthew bought 2 cars, sold one for $45,000, sold the 2 of them for $45,000, made a profit of 20% on one, made a loss of 20% on the other. What is his net profit or loss? Now I think here you want to know how much he bought the individual cars. So you then do a 20% loss. How much would I have bought a car to make a 20% loss if I sold it at $45,000? In my head, I'm thinking 52,500. I don't know. Just check it. 52,500. And for me to have made 20% profit, if I sold it at $45,000, I'm thinking I must have bought it at say $37,500. That's what I'm thinking. So I bought one at $37,500. I bought the other one at $52,500, and then I had to sell it. But if you do the maths, you get the answer here.
Elvis, I just want to interject a point.
Okay.
We promised, or Elvis had promised earlier to share the files with you. So Papa Sunday and anyone else that made that contribution. So the slides for today's session, and also I believe this application guide is shared with everyone. Sorry for those online, there's a bit of feedback. So we'll share the resources with you, and also the session today is just for the conversation to start, right? The conversations are still going to continue on the community channels for both organizations, right? So we'll continually keep having the conversation, right? Gradually, we are beginning to come into the wind down to the end of today's session. I just want Elvis to just walk us through a couple of more questions. And if you have any questions, now is a great time to ask us, right? In the next couple of minutes, we'll wind down the session for today. Please go ahead, Elvis.
Um, Guy, the table shows a pattern of rule of words. There's water, now there's fish and crab. There's sky, question mark and eagle. There's home, mom and dad. Which of the following fits the above pattern or rule? For me, I would go with aeroplane. They're all in the sky. Another question here about shares again. Susan invests 300,000 Uganda currency in shares of company X and 550,000 Ugandan currency in the shares of company Y. After a year, she sold all the shares of both companies for 400,000 Ugandan currency and 700,000 Ugandan currency, respectively. What is her profit from company X? Choose the best option. Well, this is another part where you have to calculate and do some tiny bit of calculations here. But I think when I did this, I think it's somewhere around more than 33% because I think you would get the 3.3% thereabout. But like I said, we'll share the slides with everyone. And also on the community page, we can also still have many more offline conversations on how the application would go. So let's not waste too much time trying to solve these things. Another funny question. In Nairobi, Brenda got the 2019 TEF grant of $5,000. A business is in the idea stage but has the potential of earning a monthly revenue of $500 from the 7th month and up to $750 monthly from the 12th month, according to her business plan. However, by the time she got the grant, her cousin Tim, who is into Airbnb business, has made over 100% of his investment in 2 years, is trying to convince her to do the Airbnb business with the TEF grant instead. She has come to you for advice. What would you recommend? Now, there's no wrong answer here. It is just your own recommendation. Now, follow Tim's suggestion since it's a proven business and makes more money. Split the money into two, invest half in our original idea and the other half in the Airbnb business. Follow through with our business plan and grow the business. Save the money in the bank, earn interest because she's now afraid she might lose the grant. Inform TEF that she has a change of plans and then wait for approval to do the Airbnb business. There's no wrong answer here. You just have to say how you feel. Be honest. Provide your answer. If you save the money in the bank and earn interest, is all good. Follow through with your business plan, is all good. Whatever it is you feel is the right answer. Another table. The question is that Peter plans to be. This is a table that is showing the different cost implication for different products. Product O, X, and Y. The cost in terms of labor, the cost in terms of material, the cost in terms of social, machine rent, and holiday cost. Peter plans to be a retailer of product Y of the above company startup. Assuming Peter uses two keystones, what should be Peter's MSRP for the product? Who knows what MSRP is? Who knows what MSRP is? It's Google now, just check it. Nobody knows here. Interesting. Ha ha ha. Huh? Man what? Manufacturers. Suggested. Okay, alright. Now using two keystones, either using labor and material, or labor and social, or labor and machine rent, or labor and holiday, which one do you think what would be Peter's manufacturer suggested retail price for the product? The options are here. Anyone that best describes that for you is the right answer. Now, most car owners, people that ship cars, certain import duties have to be paid on the cars, respectively.
Hi, Elvis. Sorry to interject you. Can we maybe take one or two more questions and then wind down the session? Thank you.
Okay, all right, that's fine. So let me quickly see if this is okay. We still have a number of questions here. So, but basically, this gives an overview of what the application itself looks like. Now, after you finish with the parts where you have to answer questions, the final part here is the declaration part. Just to tell if you don't have any sanctions from any government agency, you've never received a TEF grant before, because the one thing about TEF is that once you receive the grant once, you can't receive it again. There's no opportunity for that. You can't even form a team to come and they will start to find out one way or the other. Have you received seed capital for the TEF program in the previous year? Please do not choose yes for that. Don't do mistake and choose yes. If you choose yes, that automatically disqualifies you. No. You have to choose no. Do you have business partners or collaborators who are alumnus of the program? Please choose no. If you have a business partner, that means one way or the other, there's TEF money in what you're trying to do, and they want to give chance to more people that have never had the opportunity of the grant. So please choose no here. Are you a sanctioned person? That is, do you have any criminal case against any government agent or with any government agencies in your country? Just keep choosing no or yes for the ones where read the questions very well, and that's pretty much everything about the application. I think we can take questions and answers now. Olumide.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Elvis, for running through those questions, especially those tricky questions that if one is not careful and without this session, you might have made a wrong choice. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us today. Right, if you have a question, right, please feel free to just drop that. I've been tracking the Q&A and the general tags, but we're yet to get a specific question from anyone. I'm assuming, Elvis did a really great job, right, walking you through everything, and there are no questions. I think one other thing that we could maybe do is to just share the resources, the slides, and then for people to review the materials themselves. Right. After that, then we could now have maybe conversations about the forum, maybe a specific time or something, to just ensure that everybody that's interested in applying for this cycle, this year's application, I've gone through all the resources and the expected kind of questions I can now ask you specifically. I'm seeing some thank you so if there are no questions, I'm thinking this would be a good point to wind the session down.
Yeah.
All right. So on behalf of the entire team, right, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule, right, to just walk us through all this. Thank you so much. We do not take it for granted, and we really appreciate that. You've taken some time to break down the question, the ones that could trip us up, and even the other ones that are calculated or need us to do some googling. Thank you so much. I really, and we really appreciate it. We hope we would oblige us subsequently to help, right, some people who are interested in the application with this.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much, Elvis. I think this is a comfortable place to wind down today's application live or today's webinar. Please look out across our communication channels. We'll communicate the next set of events to you. And also, if you're yet to join the community platform, please reach out to any of the hosts, and we will do that. We'll do well to add you to the forum. Also, do well to patronize May Have an Innovation Hub. They are doing a fantastic job, situated out of Ife. So please check them out, check their social media handles, check them out on Twitter, on Instagram, check their websites, and also book book them, right? Use their co-working space. Even I am looking forward to seeing the co-working space in person. Thank you so much again, Elvis. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for having me. We'll continue our own thing offline here.
Thank you so much. All right. To the online audience, bye. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.